Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Alex Cook, and I have a new video where I want to talk about a stock, actually. And normally I don't really talk about stocks. Lately this channel has been more focused on crypto, and I also don't want to really give people the wrong impression. See, I'm not really an active trader. I really trade probably a lot less than most people think, and that really just comes to I don't see the need for it. You know, if you look at a lot of very successful people when it comes to building a net worth, they really don't trade that much. And I could do a whole video on this issue another time. But a lot of the advertisements you see that to pretty much turn your computer into a casino, you don't really need that. You don't really need to be trading that much. But I'm going to talk about a stock. That stock is Vista Outdoor, VSTO, and I want to talk about not just the stock itself, but the lessons that I think people can learn from the story, because that's what I want people to take away from this. Because who knows, maybe 5 years from now, the stock is not relevant as much, but I want these lessons to have more of a long-term, timeless quality to it. So, as always, with these videos, this is not intended to be investment advice, and that just comes down to I don't know who is watching this, so I can't say what is suitable for you or not, or what might make sense to you from a risk tolerance standpoint. So that one is on you to figure out. This is just meant to be informational. Act according to what you think is best for your own risk tolerance. That's on you to decide. I can't do that for you. So Vista Outdoor, this is an ammunition manufacturer. So they're the parent company of a Spear and a Federal Ammunition. If you've gone shooting, you've definitely seen those brands at some point. So what it comes down to is looking at second and third order effects. That is the real takeaway lesson that I want people to get from this video. So what I mean by that is, unless you've been living under a rock, there have been a massive increase in first-time gun buyers first half of this year. So unless you've been living under a rock, you know this already. All right, so that is what we call a first order effect. That's what you get just from watching the news. But what I'd ask you guys to do is think a bit deeper, not just look at the headlines. That's the first order effect, but think, what might happen next? Like, what is the result of this news? Like, there's a famous quote, like, skate to where the puck is going rather than where the puck is right now, or, something to that effect. But that is what I want to get you guys to think about. So when you have a lot of first-time gun buyers and people having concerns about personal safety, what do gun buyers need? Well, ammunition. And then once you start hearing some rumors that, hey, 9mm is kind of hard to get, well, it doesn't take long to put two and two together that the next thing to move is going to be the ammunition manufacturer. So that is why I took a position in VSTO. So, again, I mentioned a stock, but do what you want with your own risk tolerance. It's not intended to be investment advice, so I'm not going to tell you guys how to trade. I do want to, though, give that lesson of looking at the second and third order effects. So ammunition, I figured was going to follow after guns, and we saw that today. The stock or the company reported earnings, and they had quite an explosive rally. I want to talk about a few other things, though, that are salient and to get you thinking about these second and third order effects. So there was another news article, different topic, but I'm going to include a link below, of how CalPERS, that is the state pension for California public employees, has missed its return targets. Now, this story is actually huge. So here's the thing, is that you got to realize that West Coast states, a lot of these states, like Oregon in particular, is like they've had unsustainable pensions like back when times were good. All right, so now you throw in turmoil and things could get ugly. So what could happen is these states might be forced to cut their budget in a time when you don't normally want to do that. That's not normally what you want to do in a recession, to try to keep the economy stimulated. But they might be forced into doing that, or they might have to borrow massively. But I don't think they're going to be as able to raise taxes as they were in the past. So this is now moving from the first order effect of what's happening right now to now second order and third order effects of what does this mean? What could this result into? So let's think about it a little bit. If these states, here's what I mean by they can't really raise taxes as much as they used to is, well, what's the big industry on the West Coast? Well, technology. All right, well, because of work from home, which has just massively accelerated this, if you keep taxing high-earning tech workers, look, they could very just as easily just throw their laptop in a bag and get on the next plane ticket to Scottsdale or Miami or Las Vegas, wherever. Like they're not necessarily constrained in one area, and I think this trend is just going to continue. So That's my opinion. Could be wrong because, again, once we're moving to second, third order effects, this is where things start to get a bit more murky. But, what I'm trying to get you guys to do is start recognizing these patterns. And look, you'll get some right, you'll get some wrong. Try to get more right, then you get more wrong. Risk manage, so it's not all going into one bet. But all right, so now second order effects are these states might have to cut back. So let's talk about third order effects. Third order effects is what might happen to real estate in these states. Especially if they're not rented as much by tech companies. If one, workers leave, or two, if work from home just becomes more of a thing. What happens to banks, like regional community banks in these states, if we start seeing an uptick on problems with mortgages? So this is start moving from the second order effects to the third order effects. So I encourage you to start thinking about things like this when you see an article in the news. Don't just read, hey, this happened today. Think about what is going to happen next. And you can apply this to anything. We saw, quite a disaster in Beirut this week. I've seen some crazy stuff, but that was something else. Think about what is going to happen from here. What's going to happen in Lebanon, what might happen in the Middle East as a whole. Think about those second and third order effects. And want to include a link to another video that I made. This is why I changed my mind completely on crypto. I used to think crypto was just complete nonsense. I figured, this is silly. Only like a couple gamers will care about this. Well, then thought about it a little bit more. And look, the Fed, and not just the Fed. It's easy to focus on the Fed, but really every central bank in the world, like the ECB, the JCB, like they are literally trying to throw money at the problem. That is the best way to put it. They are literally throwing money at the problem to try to keep the economy afloat. Well, do the math. We have several trillion USD equivalent printed. My theory is that this will lead to some form of inflation. And the reason why that's my theory is that historically that's pretty much what always happens. So, wrapping up this video again, don't get too focused on just the immediate headlines like, yes, this ammo stock went up. Or 3 months ago, gun sales were going up. Think about, what does this mean? What might this mean for you? And how might you be able to position yourself with your trades to take advantage? Or, at the very least, how to protect yourself from risk too. So, if you enjoyed this video, hit subscribe. I'm going to try to make some more content. Just been busy lately, but I'm going to try to make some more content. Leave a comment, like hearing what you guys think, and thanks for watching.